Okay guys, welcome to the 100 a day blueprint. Now this is like an expose, it's more of an expose than it is a training, as well as it being a training. So there are a lot of people out there teaching just anything they can to get your attention, and they're just giving you something that's a teaser, doesn't actually teach you what it is that you need to do to make money. Yeah, you probably found this over and over again. You probably tried a lot of trainings. I know I did when I first started out. I went through loads of naff stuff, and free stuff is usually just not worth your time. Yeah, and a lot of paid stuff too actually is not worth your time. That's why you have to keep your head in the game, and just bear in mind that one thing, what works for one person doesn't work for everyone. That's why it's hard as an internet marketing coach, because you've got to try and sort of like share as much as you can with people in the hope that something sticks, something that's right for that person. They'll find it and then they'll run with it. All right, but I'm here to help you today. I'm going to reveal to you information that I paid a lot of money for, in fact from my coach, essentially stuff that I've learned from actually having coaching, which is the step most people don't take. 97, probably more actually, more than 98, 90, maybe even 99% of people who get into this never actually pay for coaching, which blows my mind, because most people will pay for coaching in just about any other area. They'll buy coaching for driving. Who doesn't? You have to learn how to drive by having coaching. They'll pay thousands of dollars on that kind of thing, get thousands of pounds in case of myself being English, on lessons, and they won't blink an eyelid. Yet when it comes to an education and marketing, they're like, I don't want to spend money on learning to make money. Well, it's like any other skill, isn't it? Like, you've got to if you really want to learn it and you don't want to have to go round and round in circles, a bit of hand holding definitely helps. Yeah, so I had this amazing epiphany 3 years down the line after like ridiculous amounts of hell and stress, which I'll tell you more about in a minute. But ultimately I'm just trying to get through to you that change your mindset on that one, because you might be one of these people that needs coaching later down the line, and you need to be honest with yourself. Okay, so let's get into this training. Like, what's this video about? What are you actually going to get out of it? Well, I'm sharing this, why am I sharing this valuable information? It's massively valuable. Why am I sharing it for free? Yeah, when I spent, $600 just to get into a coaching program and actually get one-to-one attention, which by the way is incredible price. I know that, and I'm actually going to at some point show you where you can get mentoring for that kind of money if it's something that you're interested in. But bear in mind, the training you're going to get today is going to mean you don't really need it if you're the kind of person who can take action and you can fill in the gaps, okay? Because this is very clear stuff. I'm going to be outlining a blueprint here. This is an actual blueprint, okay? So why am I sharing a blueprint for free? It's a joke, yeah? Well, A, because I have a very strong conscience, and I made you a promise. I promised to you I would teach you something that would make you $131.27 a day. I mean, it's just a actual figure, but in truth, I've made amounts like that on a regular basis. It's like it's not that hard to do, but only if you know what you're doing. Okay, but here's the thing: I don't feel that it's right of me to make a promise like that about what you can achieve and then just give you a bunch of naff. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. Well, I've been able to achieve those kinds of figures, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did to get there, so that you're not confused anymore about like the long path. I'm going to show you the short path, as per what I was educated by my mentor. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing it is because I went through hell. Like, I'll tell you my story in a little bit, but I went through hell over 3 years. It was absolutely horrific, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody else. So in my heart, like, I have a real sense of, because it's not that far in the past, I still have a sense of the pain and the horrible, like, agonizing pain and stress and the terrible journey that it was. I don't want you, being as you're interested in this, you've got a similar entrepreneurial spirit, I don't want you to go through the same amount of hell and anguish that I had to in order to start moving forward on your dream. Because bear in mind that moving forward is a path in itself. You've got to start taking action. I'd rather you be in action mode rather than still buying all the time and never actually moving forward. Okay, I want you to be in action mode from the very beginning of meeting me and working with me, from the beginning of using my newsletter. I want you to be straight on it, okay? And I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do, and I'm going to tell you to start spending money on advertising if you have money spare, things like that, instead of spending money on products, okay? I'll be telling you a little about some of the services I use, stuff like that. Okay. So it's the exact stuff I've learned from my mentor, plus more, because my mentors, although my mentor will help people with technical knowledge and stuff like that, and like fill in the gaps, a lot of that stuff I've actually learned through the 3 years of like hardship and like piecing together other people's trainings. I've managed to like pull it together to understand a lot of the finer elements of like copywriting and stuff like that anyway. Okay. This video shows you a step-by-step game plan that no one talks about. Okay, how do I know no one talks about it? Because I've seen a lot of it, okay, and I'm regularly checking out what's going on, and very few people are actually sharing this kind of knowledge unless you pay a lot of money up front. Okay, so who am I? Like, this tells you a little bit then about why I do what I do. I'm 20. God, I don't know how I got that done wrong. I'm 28 years old, right? I was born in October of 1984. I'm a music lover. I'm from Bournemouth, south coast of England, Bournemouth, right? We're right next to the beach. Lovely place, really chilled out, kind of fairly nice area, okay? But it's kind of like, it's a real mixture. Like, there's a lot of people here that are tourists from all over the world, so it's quite a multicultural area. Very interesting, and I love it. You know, there's definitely worse places to live in the world, but it's not easy. You know, living in Bournemouth is quite expensive, actually. For someone who is on a sort of a lower wage, if you're in a lower wage bracket, it's very hard to have your own place in Bournemouth until you're earning a decent income of at least sort of like £1,200 a month or so. That's the only way you're really going to have your own place that you can live and rent, let alone buy. Yeah. So I'm a music lover. Apparently I used to headbang in the pram to music. All right. This feedback from my mother said that, you know, I used to headbang in time to music. That's how into it I am. I've always been immersed in it. My family loves it. I've been drummer for 16 years. I started singing when I was 8, so I've been doing that. Now I'm 28, so I've been singing for 20 years. Started off in a church choir, although I'm not religious. So I spent 8 years just singing in a church choir from 8 to 16. My voice broke when I was 12. I was singing tenor, like hairs on my chest at 12. You know, I just stayed the same height from the age of 12 right the way up till I was about, well, now. Actually, most of the guys that I used to go to school with, who I used to tower above, are now taller than me. So, you know, I'm kind of a really happy-go-lucky, loving kind of guy. I care a lot about people, and I'm really quite balanced in a lot of ways. I like to meditate. I like to look after myself, look after my health, and train, and all that kind of stuff. And I think it helps you to push your business forward when you're in that sort of balanced state of mind, and when you really do look after yourself. Now, I got started in business because I was sick of working for other people. It drove me nuts, like, and I probably would imagine there's a lot of you out there that feel the same way. I just hate the idea of spending the rest of my life having someone else dictate to me how I'm going to work, but more than that, so how I'm going to serve people around me. I felt stifled for so many years in the jobs I've been in, stifled in the sense that I couldn't expand and give more of myself and bring more of myself to the table, and I wanted more free time as well, so that I could spend more of it on my music and like following my dream of using my drums and like sharing records, like selling records in my band, stuff like this, all that kind of stuff. I felt like being in a job where I didn't barely get any money because it was like retail based on like practically minimum wage for so long, it was kind of holding me back. I felt like my time was being taken up full time in a job like that, and I was, oh god, it just felt to me like hell, ongoing. So I decided to put myself through more hell. As you'll find out in a minute. The job I was in just before it all fell apart was like a call centre, by the way, okay, like selling insurance. Don't recommend it for the average person. Anyway, I spent over $5,000 on product programs over the space of that 3 years, as well as like resources and everything else, but a lot of my money actually went on programs and stuff, which is really stupid, as you'll find out later, because it's just not the way to go. You don't want to spend all your money on training. Really, you should be spending the majority of your money, if you're going to spend money, on campaigns, like your own campaigns, so you can test your results and get an experience. Right? You should be spending most of your money on the resources you need to run your business. You shouldn't be spending it all on training. You're better off saving up a bunch of money and getting a coach in most instances, actually, than you are buying lots of courses. Okay, this is just for the average person. Okay, so just sort of watch yourself when you're going down the path there, because you could end up in the same boat as I was, and I really don't wish that for you. So I kept buying programs and not implementing them, because I'd get them and then I'd be like, oh, actually I'm not sure if this works, and then I'd get doubt creep in, and then I wouldn't be certain enough, so I wouldn't follow through, and then I'd move to the next one. A lot of you guys have probably gone through the same cycle. Yeah, I'd spend literally like, but then what I did actually do is I created a bunch of programs as well. Initially I did some meditation trainings and stuff like that, and these failed products, like literally I'd spend 18-hour days for several weeks building these products, doing the sales pages, doing all of this stuff to get this amazing product together that I didn't even know if people wanted. And I'd put all this energy and all this stuff, and I'd be like, I was all excited, and I'd be like telling my girlfriend, oh my god, we're going to make so much money, and blah blah blah, and I'm going to buy you this house and we'll never have to worry again, and blah blah blah. And then I'd like, and it'd flop, and then I'd be like, okay, don't worry about it, you know, dust myself off, I'll just do another one, and I'd just do it again, and then it'd flop. And I just, every time I'd boost up my girlfriend's thoughts about, oh wow, we're going to have this whole life and stuff, and then I'd just fail again and again and again and again, disappoint her again and again and again and again. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. It's one of the most demeaning experiences in my life. I should have just kept my mouth shut and just not told her anything until such a time as something actually happened. Yeah, because it kind of like ruined our I just ended up obsessed with it as well. I'm talking about it way too much. I didn't do much for helping that relationship stay together, to be honest. It's no wonder that it fell apart in the end after 5.5 years. You know, the last sort of 2 years of it, the first year of me getting into internet marketing wasn't so bad, but there's at least a couple of years of that where it just started to just become drudgery, and me struggling away and her just trying to support me, but it just not working. And I won't go too much into it, but I just want you guys to know that I know what it's like to go through that kind of pain, and girls as well. I don't want you to get caught in the same kind of cycle I did, because it's just horrific. Yeah. It's really not very nice. Now, I lost my job stupidly. I tried to spend the time building a business instead of getting another job. Yeah, so I let myself end up on this stupidly low wage, living the most pathetic lifestyle, like literally living on pittance, worrying about whether I could get food, let alone and just about cover bills, living in a shared house with my girlfriend. Awful, like stupid, and just constantly believing that at some point I would break through and learn the perfect free traffic method that would launch my business. To be honest and blunt, guys, most likelihood is that free traffic methods aren't going to work for you initially, because there's so many moving parts you need to get right at that stage. You're better off actually starting with paid traffic until you get the hang of everything else. Then you can sort of like potentially move into free traffic more easily. So I'm not saying don't do free traffic, I'm just saying in most cases it's probably just going to waste your time. So you're better off, if you can, investing a little bit of cash into your business to learn what you need to do. So yeah, I just kept doing that. That was me going round and round in cycles. It was a miserable experience, and yeah, I'm glad I did it, because now I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't, and I wouldn't be able to relate to so many people who have struggled, and I wouldn't care and have so much empathy for people like I do if I hadn't struggled like that. But I just I don't want any of you to have to go through the same thing, okay? I wouldn't wish it on anyone. So I only started getting success once I started spending money on a mentor, okay? Once I bought mentoring. I'm just one of those kinds of guys, I guess, that needs it. So you guys have to decide for yourselves if you're one of those people. But for me, that was a big move. Actually, it scared the hell out of me when I paid that PayPal hit of, like, to me, which was just over 400 quid. To me, that was a lot of money to spend in one hit. Now, I know some people charge like £1,300, like $200,000 or more, some $5,000, like £3,000 for mentoring, okay? And actually, in some ways, now I've had this experience, I can see that it's justifiable, but it's not actually physically possible for a lot of you out there. I get that. That's the same for me. So I was so chuffed when I found someone that was actually selling mentoring at a price that I could sort of stretch for and risk. And to me, it was a big risk, you know, having that £400 missing when I had barely enough to eat was a big deal. That was a big struggle that month. It was everything I had, pretty much blown on it, everything I'd saved, just to sort of try and move forward with this. And this was literally just a couple months after I'd split up with my girlfriend that I found this mentoring. It's like ironic, you know. So I've never looked back since then. It's like made such a difference in my journey. You know, within just a few weeks of starting with the mentoring, I had my first $120 day with solo ads, and you know, I haven't looked back. Studying under a millionaire marketer is where it's at, really. You know, this guy's he's earned 7 figures online, so he really knows what he's doing, and he's taking me stage by stage through the process of building a business that is full, you know, where I'm really serving people, and I'm so grateful to be in this position, this privileged position of actually having one-to-one attention with someone who knows what they're talking about. And you can follow me on my journey, and I'll certainly be helping you by sharing with you the actual genuine information I'm being shared, instead of like filtering it so that I can upsell you into programs. Okay, because bear in mind, I'm already making money, I'm already steady anyway. I don't need to sort of like make money out of you in order to keep my business going, you know. So I'm studying under building my list at a rate of around 200 to 300 or more subs per week. You know, that's 1 week I actually did more than that. I think my best has been about 400 or 500 subs in 1 week. So guys, it's doable. You know, it is well doable if you're willing to invest, and if you're clever about the way you approach it. You just got to be strategic. So I'm going to tell you all about this kind of stuff in this training. So I don't want this to be too long, so I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible. I'm going to break this down section by section, and then actually tell you exactly what it is you need to do, and then you can tell me if there's more you need to know to be able to make this happen. Alright? So start by building a list in internet marketing. Why internet marketing? Because when you're first starting out, there's many leverage points you need sort of in place if you want to build something quickly. You need people that are interested and really want to know, you know, that information, and there are only 3 key areas where you're going to find that: money, was it health, wealth, and sex. Yeah, health, wealth, and relationships is what generally people are interested in. Yeah. So if you're in any one of those key areas, generally speaking, you're going to be okay. But the good thing about internet marketing is there's a lot of people buying and selling solo ads. It's kind of generally acceptable to do that. There's lots of people ad swapping with each other. There's a lot of opportunities and ways that you can build your list that otherwise might be a bit of a challenge to do in those markets, other markets, if you didn't know what you were doing, or if you didn't have the right contacts. So it's a good way to get yourself get the ball rolling of having that kind of experience. So it's a good way to sort of test the field of what's required to build a business. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is research your market a little bit. Just find out who the key players are, what's actually going on. Try not to buy everything you see. Just like listen, like if you get on email lists, try and keep a swipe file of the emails that you're receiving, pop them in a little folder so you can start to see the kind of subject lines that make you open an email, and the kind of things that the big names are using, so that you understand a bit better about what gets people's attention, get an idea of what kind of products are out there, what services, what people are looking for. Okay, read forums, like read responses from people, get into Facebook groups and read the kind of comments people are making about the things they're frustrated about. This kind of stuff is really important research, and you need to know that if you're going to create something that people actually want, because that's what you're going to need to do to get people's attention initially. Yeah. So now, knowing what people want, essentially just keep it simple. Bear in mind, people want to make money. Yeah. So try and make it exciting. Don't lie. Okay. But make it exciting. So and you might need to leverage getting an interview with someone to make that happen. So first of all, you're going to create a website that collects emails. Okay. A squeeze page, so called. Yeah. So you might have seen these a lot. You will have signed up to one just to see this. In fact, yeah. Similar thing. You've got to create your own one of those because you want to build a list. You want to follow up. I've heard it said that the average customer will not buy until they've heard from you 7 times. Okay. And some people make all their money after like the 28th email in the back end, once they've built a lot of trust with customers. Okay. Now, other people will be doing a system that I'm going to be teaching you today so that you can make money right away without necessarily learning all those skills. And then you can sort of build off of that to eventually make more money by serving people through coaching and stuff like that, or whatever else you want to do. Okay, so it's all in the headline when it comes to squeeze pages, guys, okay, and the bullets. So there's 3 keys you want in a headline. You want to create curiosity. Okay, you want to have big benefit, and you want a dissonance. You want something that kind of that's what creates a curiosity, essentially. Like you could say a college dropout makes $1,000 in less than 30 days, and tell stories as well really helps, because people want to know more about stories. It like engages people. People find that interesting. But you know, can you see what I'm doing there? Like, you don't expect a college dropout to be making $1,000 in like 30 days. You expect it maybe from some like uni past intelligent person that just like exudes like Mensa knowledge and intelligence, but not from someone who's like a drunk, like recovered whatever. Yeah, you get my point. I'm going to ramble on here for a second, but you get my point. You got to think about these things, and you can use the stories of the person you're interviewing instead of yourself to sell the product that you're essentially getting people's email for. Okay, so don't worry about if you know perfect amounts of information now. You don't need to. You just need something compelling that delivers a benefit that is genuine, that is really awesome. Okay. So I'm lucky in the fact that having got some mentoring, I've got personal experience of being able to make $120 or more in a day, whereas a lot of people haven't had that privilege yet. I know you're seeking that right now, which is cool, but my mentor could teach you how to essentially promise to teach you how to make $1,000 in a day, because he's been able to do that and more. So as things grow, that you can use. As you're in this position now, you're going to want to use and leverage people who've already got those kinds of experiences and get interviews with them to sort of build that up, or even pay for interviews. Would be worth it, to be honest, if you've got something that people are actually going to want, so you can get their attention. But once you build up your own experiences, you can then start to leverage that too. So you're going to create a free product for them. So research what people want. If you don't know the answer, I say interview someone who does. It's so important. Listen to me here, okay? Don't just put something naff out because people won't trust you. You've got to show some kind of expertise, even if it's an expertise of sourcing quality content from other people that are experts. Okay, that worked for Tony Robbins. Yeah, he just ended up interviewing some of the best names across the personal development field. Left, right, and centre. He ended up with one of the most successful talk shows and programs called Power Talk in existence. Okay, and he built himself up a lot of contacts doing it. Make sure the content over delivers and short and punchy. Okay, like this video here isn't going to be more than like 40 minutes or so, and even that's quite long, really. Okay, if you can get your content down to even 20 minutes and still achieve the aim, even better. Because people don't really, in this day and age, don't want to sit through long videos anymore, or read long reports. They want it now. They want a sense of the possibility they could actually achieve it if they really wanted to. Okay. Open loop into a newsletter. Now, this is something not a lot of people talk about, but you want to start straight away by building an open loop out of your content into the newsletter. Like, don't let it just finish off and just close it off. Okay, do what all the soap operas do. Create your drum roll finish that gets people all like in anticipation of the next episode. Okay. So important. I learnt about this sort of stuff from Andre Shaparin, who's just amazing. I highly recommend anything that Andre Shaparin sells. Just if you've got the money to buy anything from Andre Shaparin, just get it. It'll be worth your money. Okay. Don't sell anything until you've built your list to the critical limit of 4,000 subscribers. This is something I didn't understand till I started getting mentoring. I was constantly like, oh, how come I'm not making any money from the list of 72 people that I got? Or how come I'm not? Oh, that doesn't work. It's just years of going around in circles for me that I can draw from, and you can probably understand where I'm coming from. You've probably done the same thing. Alright, so I just want to warn you, aim for a high level of subs before you even think about selling. Okay, you should be trying to master two things first: list building, content production, creation, like an engagement. Yeah, so engagement is essentially content creation. So engagement, list building, that's it. Don't focus on anything else until you've got those mastered, because you're going to confuse the hell out of yourself. Alright, so don't sell anything. Do not even try and sell anything till you've hit your limit of 4,000 subscribers. Then from there you can start to do more of what I'll be telling you about in a minute, and you can build up your business for a few months, okay, until you get to the stage where you can expand further. Okay, cool stuff so far. Yeah, so traffic, a lot of people don't really tell you the truth about what they do for traffic, so I'm going to share with you some really awesome info. Now you have it all in place to drive visitors. You've got to have something to drive them to that's worthwhile. So now you have that all in place. By the way, with your squeeze page, it's one of the headlines I was saying to you. Yeah, so you check out emails that you're sent, look at other people's squeeze pages, create a swipe file with like 100 to 200 headlines, and then use those as a model that you can base on to make good headlines, so that you're not like working from nothing. Even Dan Kennedy does that. He'll source headlines from two different amazing headlines that worked for ages, and he'll kind of combine them together and create a little story or something that suits the individual situation. This is how it works, guys. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. When it comes to copy especially, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Get a good idea of how the structure works. You want to build desire in that person, and same with bullets. Like, make the bullets develop curiosity. You can model on other people's bullets, but just like do your own spin. Don't copy. Do not plagiarize. Model is different, yeah. But you have to learn to model if you're going to be successful in this. Right, so you're driving visitors to this new squeeze page that you've done. You want to test it, okay? A quick and easy way to do that is with solo ads, okay? Solo ads, you'll find solo ads for sale in like Safe Swaps. A great person to check out, I'll put a link below, is the solo ad directories, like with Josh Zamora, or the Zamorai as he calls himself. I've actually been listed as a recommended solo ad seller by Josh Zamora, and he's got a very strict testing process with how he tests for whether or not the person delivers decent quality traffic, okay? I.e. people that are actually interested, and people that are interested in convert are usually people that are happy because they've been treated well, okay? So it's kind of cool. If you go to that list, you'll be able to see a whole bunch of people that sell solo ads, so that you can buy some for yourself and start to drive traffic that way. It's quite an efficient way of getting yourself an experience of driving customers and then trying to get them engaged, that kind of thing, you know. And solo ads is quick, it's efficient, and it's a lot damn sight cheaper than a lot of other options that are out there when you don't really know what you're doing. You don't have to get your ad copy perfect, but you do need to understand what people are after, and you need to make sure that your email that you give to them in the solo ad matches up perfectly with the offer that that person's gonna find when they go to your squeeze page, okay? Because ultimately it's up to you to get that conversion. You can't blame the person if your offer isn't any good. So you've got to be, you've got to get that right. Mobile traffic, I love. It does take a little bit more work to get that right, but if you keep it really simple, make a very specific benefit, and sort of like you've got to play with like doing split testing. I use ClicksTrack. I'll put a link below for that. I use ClicksTrack to track all my links and stuff. That's brilliant. I put different campaigns through ClicksTrack to find out what ones work best and stuff like this. But basically, you want to use mobile traffic. I like to use because it's I know then that the people who go for it, who actually follow through, are mobile owners, smartphone owners, which is kind of awesome when you think about it, because that tells me a lot about that they have disposable income, that they are up with technology, this kind of thing, so it does do a lot of targeting for you when you end up getting mobile traffic. It's kind of cool. I like mobile traffic. I recommend you think about it and have a look into that if you're into that kind of idea. It's highly leverageable. Click banking is something you can do later down the line as you build up your list a bit more. You can bank clicks with someone. So what you do is you'll go with a big name or somebody that's sort of more well established than you, who's got a bigger list, and you can like send them a bunch of clicks. Obviously there's got to be some trust there, yeah. But you send them a bunch of clicks, say 500 clicks or something, and then once you've hit where you're meant to be, your 500 clicks, they'll just shoot you back another 500. So it's like ad swapping, but for those who are kind of new. So that's kind of a cool way to drive more traffic. But I recommend click banking later down the line. Don't get into that until you've hit sort of more like 2,000 or so subscribers. All right. Pay-per-view. This is a favourite of Charles Kirkland's. I'll put a video below actually that links to one of Charles Kirkland's trainings, because he does a great video that's like over an hour that teaches you all about PPV if you want to learn about that in detail. Pay-per-views, it can be very beneficial. Some people it works great for. Simultaneous buying and selling of solo ads. The way that works is you can once you're more well established, you know what you're doing, you can essentially buy a solo ad and then immediately send some of your new subscribers to somebody else that's buying a solo ad off of you, okay? And that way you claw back some of the money that you've spent on your solo ads. So it can be a good way to sort of take some of the edge off of the money that you're spending on your solo ads. Plus, what's cool about it as well is you've just bought the solo ads, so those new subscribers are more fresh, they're more responsive. Now, the way that you do that is you'd have to put them to a redirect page, which takes them straight through. And the product I'd recommend actually getting to help you with that would be Click Maximizer, which yet again I'll put a link about below should you want to get into that. When it comes to the website as well and building squeeze pages, I use OptimizePress. So yeah, again, I'll put a link in the resources tab below, and then you can check that out. Bear in mind, some of these are affiliate links, okay? I'm only recommending to you things that I personally use, so what you buy of that is up to you, but this is why I'm not charging, because I know that you're going to have to spend money to get this thing set up, and it's a bit harsh for me to teach you this method, and then I'll ask for a bunch of money for a method, and then be getting commission as well as that for anything that you buy that I recommend to try and get you started. The other thing I recommend for list building, because they allow you to do surveys too, which is going to be so fundamental later, I'll tell you more about that in a bit. So surveys and stuff, that's I do all that through GetResponse. Okay, GetResponse I love to pieces. I think it's a brilliant autoresponder service. Not everybody works with that, but I've worked with Aweber in the past, and moving over to GetResponse was a good move, okay? Especially when you're new and you only want to spend minimal amounts of money but have all the resources you need to build your business. It's all built into GetResponse, so much more recommended, okay? So GetResponse, again, I'll link below. So the buying and selling of solo ads, you need to get to a stage where you've built a sales page and you're selling solo ads. So you've got to have built a decent list by first to really pull that off anyway. All right. But you can because you've got to. Well, essentially, actually, no. In some ways, you don't have to build a massive list, but you're going to have to buy much more subscribers. You know, much more solo ads to be able to supply the amount of clicks necessary to fulfill on your order that you would have sold. So just bear that in mind, okay? You don't want to ruin your reputation before you even begin. So just be very serious about how you treat your customers and over deliver when you're selling solo ads, okay? Really look after your customers. It's worked well for me, okay? I always look after my customers. I make sure they get the best service I can possibly provide for them. Facebook, I think, is brilliant. There's a really cool app actually that has only just been released recently called Tutu Social. I've only just found out about it, haven't used it myself yet, but I don't recommend using Facebook unless you're able to put a squeeze page into your Facebook page, because getting people off of Facebook is practically impossible, guys, okay? Honestly, the people are just not interested in doing anything else when they're on Facebook. So if you can, this app allows you to only reveal content when they've liked it. Yeah, so then you've already got them engaged, and then you can do a video that kind of sells what you're going to offer them for free, and then email straight there on Facebook. Okay, and that's the way to do it. Then if you buy Facebook PPC or whatever, and you drive people to your page, you're actually going to be able to get them on your list. That's so important. Otherwise, Facebook is a waste of your time. Okay, so if you don't end up using something like Tutu Social, don't even bother with Facebook in the first place. Okay, so that gives you a bit of a rundown of traffic and the kind of things you need to look at there. These kinds of things are all excellent ways of driving traffic, but I would stick to just one or two. Don't complicate it with trying to do them all at once. Okay, just stick to one or two, and build yourself up to the point where you can actually do those effectively, and then you can expand out from that. Okay, otherwise you're just going to confuse yourself and you won't know if you're coming or going. But you must track. Okay, track your conversions so that you know where what's working for you. You want to track the clicks that you get from solo ads. If you buy a solo ad, give them a tracking link so you know that you've definitely got the amount of clicks that you're expecting. Okay, that kind of thing. That's ClickStrack, I recommend. Okay, that's what I use because it's really, really cheap, but you still get a great result. And I know you want to keep your budget low at the moment. Okay, engaging your list. So I might actually. Yeah, I'm probably going to split this video up as well, so you might be looking at a second video at this stage, because I think it gets a bit much sort of watching that much in one go, I think. Anyway, so engaging your list, so important to then really focus down, hone in on being able to get your subscribers to open up their emails. Okay, this is the next stage. You don't want to worry about selling stuff at this stage. You've learned how to build your list, you're having some success there. Now you need to focus on getting them to open your emails. That's it. Don't worry about anything else, and honestly, don't make it complicated either. You don't have to write War and Peace episode, okay? You just need to care about your customers and put some decent content out there. I'm going to break that down for you so you get a simple idea, the kind of things you're going to need to do to make that happen. So you're going to start with a business selling solo ads once you hit 4,000 subs, okay? So you need to keep them engaged. You need to be able to get them opening emails so that you're going to be able to get them to click in the future. Okay, you need to build your list as fast as possible so the more people are still engaged. Okay, Joe Vitale says money loves speed. It's for a reason. because it's kind of true, you know. If you rise to success faster, you tend to find your results are much better. So if you want to lose weight, you're better off like pounding it and going for it, and then losing the weight and then maintaining it. If you like work out regularly, like work out 5-6 times a week, sort your diet out completely, pound away, like smash it up for like a few weeks, eat lots of protein, like eat really well, and then you can maintain it. It's harder to like just do it half-heartedly, and it takes so long, and then you hit a plateau, and a lot of people fail that way. Same applies with the business. Like, you should just go for it, okay? If you can, try and be as vigorous and as direct as you can be from point A to point B. Build your list as fast as you can to that 4,000 point, okay? Focus on open rates at first, subject lines, engaging content only until, you know, like I say, content only emails until you hit your 4,000 subs, so that you can build a relationship with them, and so that when it comes to the point that you start selling solo ads, that you've already got that trust, and then they know that you're not just going to sell anything, you know, just not going to present just anything in front of them, that you're actually going to think about them and care about them when you deliver certain content to them. Because a lot of these solo ads you sell, bear in mind, a lot of these guys that you're going to be selling solo ads from are really cool guys, and they really care about customers too, and they're just buying that ad space off of you. So you're kind of doing your customers a favour, because you're giving them new content and new teachers that will do them, may benefit them. Because bear in mind, you think you're a great teacher, you might think you know everything about what your customers need, but it's not necessarily true. Like, some people need a different type of teacher, some people need a different spin or a different method that you haven't taught. You know, for all of this wonderful information I'm sharing with you now, you might go, that's not for me. And then you're still on my list, but you open my emails because I give good content, and then one day I share with you this training from some other guy, and it happens to be the perfect thing for you. So bear in mind, I don't just sell solo ads, I screen the people I sell solo ads to make sure that my list is looked after. I suggest you do the same thing, okay? Because you want to build that respect and rapport and relationship with the people that are on your list. Protect them, because they are the people that are basically making it possible for you to earn a living online. You really want to care about them completely, because, you know, it makes sense, really, doesn't it? You know, if you don't look after them, they're not going to look after you. So it's it goes both ways. Make sure your emails interlink into stories and loops, yeah, and share your personality. So you remember I did my who am I bit, yeah? It kind of seems irrelevant, right? But once you have gone through it, you kind of start to relate to me a little bit more as a human being. That's why I told you that. It's just so that you can get to know me, all right? Because we like to like deal with people that we know. Okay, if I just made this all impersonal and just information like a teacher, and just like didn't entertain you in any way, didn't tell some stories, like didn't interact with you, didn't show how human I am, that I made mistakes, like, who is this guy? Like, I don't even know if I trust him, because it sounds like good information, but it's probably all bull. Yeah, but when you know my story and you know the hardship I've gone through and like how much of a challenge I've had, you know that I've got empathy for you and I'm actually going to look after you, you know. So and also like just my little traits, like being interested in music, stuff like that, that all appeals. Like, it makes people more interested in who you are. Like, some people will relate to me more, some people won't, and that's cool. Like, some of you are going to think this guy's a douche, I don't want to have anything to do with him, and some of you are going to be like, this is the coolest guy I've ever met in my life. I would be like, okay, well, fair enough, but that's only because you see in yourself, you see in me something that you want to see in yourself too, you know. That's how it works. So it's horses and courses, guys, okay? So don't expect everyone to like you, because it just ain't going to happen. So put yourself out on the line, put your personality out there, and make sure your stories and your emails and stuff like open out at the end to sort of like link to the next one, like tease people about the next bit of information they're going to get, tease people about what the next part of the story is going to be, that kind of thing. Okay, guys? So once you hit about 2,000 subscribers, you can start with ad swaps. Keep the list building, you know, by buying solo ads and other external traffic, like, you know, Facebook, mobile, stuff like that. You just don't need to do it as much anymore when you're doing your ad swaps, because that will keep your list fresh but without you paying for it. So you can kind of do swaps with people that you respect. Just make sure you don't swap with just anybody, okay? Because you don't want to ruin your reputation with your list in the process of building your list, because now you're just kind of like wasting all the work you've done already. You want to build upon that work. So be constantly like an integral, ethical person in your business, and it will pay off for you in dividends in the long run, okay? It might be a little bit harder, there's a little bit more work involved, but actually no, in the long run it's a lot less work, because you're not going to have to retrace all the work that you already did and constantly be chasing your own tail. So for a little bit extra work in the short term, you get a lot less work in the long term. You want to be thinking long term, be strategic, a strategic entrepreneur, not just some kind of like opportunity seeker, like Rich Sheffrin would say. Put yourself into the role properly, okay? Put yourself in the right mindset. Sourcing ongoing content, okay? So to get your content, you don't have to know it all. You can create it, okay? You might have some fantastic ideas for content that's going to really benefit people. If you look around and find out what people want, you might know the answers. But, you know, if not, do interviews. Okay, get hold of your peers, like find out if they'll share this information with you, and like do the interviews and stick them in your email sequences. Break that interview up into several emails that like tease people out, you know. Do that kind of thing. Buy membership in the war room in the Warrior Forum. It's a great place because then you can do your own WSOs as well and stuff like this. There's lots of key benefits for doing that. But you'll see some great content in there that will inspire you about what you could write an email on. So use it for inspiration. There are free WSOs out there that you can check out. Use those for inspiration. Don't copy and plagiarize. Use them for inspiration so that you know, or you can even link to some of these bits of content occasionally that you see that it's incredible and you really want to honour the person who's made it. Link to them, you know. There's no harm in that. Like your subscribers are going to appreciate the fact that you've pointed them to somebody else who really does well, and that teacher might be just the one for them. Okay, so don't be selfish and worry about, like, don't be too needy and trying to keep people to yourself. People will appreciate it more if you're a bit more open and you actually care about them and you just try and share. Okay, so that's a little bit about engaging your list. So selling your solos. Okay, so when you get to the point that you're at like 4,000 subscribers and you want to start selling solos, make sure you have a clear explanation of what you offer. You can model on my page, which I'll link below if you're interested in seeing what I did to sell solo ads. Okay, don't lie. Don't tell them you're going to do something you're not. Okay, it's so important. Okay, and you need to set the boundaries. You need to be professional. You need to make sure that you're in constant contact with the people that you're serving and really listen to them and try and do your best for them, because your reputation's on the line and you don't get a second chance at first impression. Okay, you screw it up the first time, it ain't gonna happen again. So treat people as you want to be treated. You know, that's essentially what it comes down to. Just look after the people that you're dealing with. If you can't look after a solo ad, what makes you think you're going to be able to help a customer? So deal with the people straight away the way that you intend your business to be in the long run. It's so important that you do what you say you're going to do. Always follow through. Always over deliver on what you said. Okay. Contact people who review solo sellers. Okay, like Zamurai. Okay, below, the guy who reviewed me. Once you're in an established position that you know you can do your job properly and you're getting good results, contact someone like Josh Zamora and show him what you're capable of. Get yourself on some solo ad directory lists where you've been recommended so that people can see that you have a valuable service. Okay, and try and get testimonials as fast as you possibly can. Okay, use those testimonials straight away on the sales page, and especially try and get testimonials from people who've got weight and like that people know, so that they know they can trust the opinion of that person. That's why it's worth getting people with these directories to review you, okay, as soon as possible. Made such a difference for me in the journey. You can join groups where these guys hang out, Facebook groups like Skype rooms. Use Safe Swaps. Okay, as you build up relationship in Safe Swaps, you might get invited to some Skype rooms where some of these people hang out. You know, these are the kind of things you want to be doing. Like, we want to try and be where other people are selling and buying solo ads, so that you can get involved in those communities and give something back to that community. Don't go in there just trying to steal value. Go in there to give. Go in there to give something brilliant. You know. So you can sell solos there in Safe Swaps, and you can buy Safe Swap solos as well. As you build up a reputation, you'll find it easier and easier to get more and more sales in your solo ads business. Okay, and that's a quick way to start making money off of your list without actually selling to your customers. So you're making money from selling the solo ads from the ad space essentially for your newsletter. You know, it's just normal. This is exactly what happens with TV. You know, you get adverts between programs. You get adverts in magazines. Okay. There's no harm in it, essentially, especially if you're looking after your customers and you're making sure the offers that you're recommending are actually worth having. So you can just screen them, and to the best of your knowledge, just make sure you're only recommending stuff or selling solo ads to people who actually look after their customers, so you can build up a relationship with your customer whilst also making money. Okay, and then in the long run, you can push forward to the next level. Okay, after a few months of doing this, you'll have the chance to be able to build your business to the next level. Okay, so finally, this is where we talk about the final stage. It's really exciting because I've just shared with you information that I had to pay a lot of money for, And if I'd known this stuff early on, I wouldn't have had to go around in circles. So I hope you appreciate what it is I've shared with you today. So now you know how to build your list, okay? Get them to open emails, get them to click your links and respond to free offers. You can learn how to build a business selling products and services like programs and affiliate offers, because you've mastered some of those other skills to get to this stage of being able to sell solo ads, which will improve your solo ad service because it'll feed back in. If you can learn to sell offers to your list, that will benefit your customers, and obviously make sure you're only selling things that they're going to love, because then they'll come back to you so happy that they will listen to anything else that you recommend. Okay, if you can do that, then you'll have you develop a buyers list, what we call a buyers list, of people that you know are customers and like to buy stuff and that they're engaged. Your solo ads, you can raise the prices. You're going to start off when you're first selling solo ads at a low price, like 40 cents a click max. And then you can build up to like 50-cent clicks, more than that even if you've got if you're selling buyers list solos, which some people do. They charge $1 per click or more at least, and it's worth every penny if you have a funnel where you know that those buyers, when they come to your funnel, they're going to buy from you, because you know you're going to get a return on investment. Okay, so but you have to have a funnel that you know converts first, otherwise you're wasting your money. Does that make sense? So you need to start small, guys. Start chunking it down first. First learn list building, first learn engagement, okay? Then learn to be able to get clicks, okay, and to sell solos to people. Keep it simple. Then as you're building that relationship with your list and stuff, then build out to this sort of stage of being able to influence them. Like, by the way, the whole time put surveys in there. You want like your second email ideally, or like as early as possible within the first 3 or 4 emails to be a survey email. I do it as my second email because then I can find out more about my customers, be really clear about what it is they need. Okay, so you can do like an ethical bribe on your second email to give them another gift, but get some information from them. Okay, so you know what to do to serve them. So ask a list what they want via surveys, and then do sequences that sell products and services based on what people want, okay, and what they're looking for. Now, and only sell and recommend products, like I say, that people are going to benefit from, that are really going to genuinely help them, because you owe it to yourself and to everyone around you to try and make a difference in the world around you, to actually try and serve people. So just keep that in mind, okay? It's good karma, all right? I do actually believe that what goes around comes around, and I'm sure you agree with that too. So you'll know that if you want to be around this for the long haul, if you want to have financial freedom for the long haul, you're going to have to learn the skill of creating value for others in a genuine way. So just keep that in mind. So you build your buyers list, yeah. Once you have this system in place, you can build your buyers list. You can still make profit from your funnel because you know what you're doing then. And that's kind of like really a good overview. That's the kind of start that I wish I'd had when I first came to this. I wish someone had just broken that down for me so that I could be more practical about each step, instead of being lost in like, oh, I need to do this traffic, I need to do that traffic, oh, I need to buy this product because that'll teach me the missing piece of the puzzle about no, now what you'll be doing is you'll be like, okay, so I know the plan, I know the simple plan. Now I just need to fill out my skill of copywriting a little bit more and understand that a little bit more. Now I need to maybe like improve my ability to drive traffic a little bit more. Now if you look at a product or a service, you're going to do it in line with your own plan, being a strategic entrepreneur about it, instead of just like, looking at the figures, like what was my conversion rates. You need to think like that, okay? It might sound boring to you, but if that's how you're going to make your money a day, your 131.27 a day or whatever it is you want to earn, for my mentor, like thousands a day, if you want to make that kind of money, you're going to have to think that way, change your mindset. If you want to learn more about how to build your own business, okay, and you want some hand holding, if you found that this was great and this is all you needed, go do it, implement it, just do it today. Don't wait any longer. Or if you need to fund it, start putting your money away and put the money into this so that you can start to get the results that you're after. If you want it, you'll do it. Okay, I saw a great quote today, actually, I put up on Facebook. It was something like was it yesterday I put it up, something like that. It was if you want something enough, you'll if you don't want something, you'll have excuses. If you want something enough, you'll have results, something like that. Yeah. So just the idea that it's when we don't want something that we'll just fob it off and say, oh, okay, I'll do it later. Okay, so only you know if you want it enough. And I've actually got a training on mindset that I might well be including in this email sequence somewhere, so watch out for that, because I really go into detail about what it takes to get yourself in the right headspace. I know about that deeply because I spent 10 years studying personal development to get myself to the stage where I could actually get myself to take action regularly, consistently. It's all about state, guys. Okay, it's the state you get yourself into. If you get yourself pumped up in the right state, you'll take action. If you get yourself focused on certain things, you'll take action. So it's all about that. So understanding yourself is a big part of the game. Okay, if you can't get that in place, you're generally going to fail, to be honest. So yeah, if you're the kind of guy who's like I was and you need the hand holding, you can check out the coaching program I've put below. So, and you know, check it out for yourself, because I know that if I'd started getting coaching earlier, I would have had results earlier. So instead of like beating around the bush and like stringing it out and trying to get, oh right, you need to buy this little product, and then like building you up and all this kind of stuff, I'm just going to cut to the chase. Like if you're the kind of guy you know already, or girl, you know already what it is you need to do, and you know yourself well enough to say, actually, you know what, I need the coaching, just go for it, just get it below. And you know, I don't need you to buy any products anyway, but if there's any of those services below, like using Optimized Press, all that kind of stuff, if any of that serves you, you know, and you feel like you'd rather just go cut the curve and just get straight in there with, instead of having to learn how to build squeeze pages from scratch, use Optimized Press. All the training's built into Optimized Press anyway. Anything I've recommended to you has generally got all the training it needs built into it, so you don't even need me to teach you it. It'll be pretty easy. Okay. HostGator as well is who I use for my hosting service. I can put a link for that. Those guys are the way that you would be able to then load your Optimized Press into there. Yet again, a lot of this stuff is easy to get hold of educational online. You don't need me to go into the details about that, but I'm just telling you that, like, the key points of where I went for that, so that you don't have to go around in circles. Okay. When it comes to selling your solo ads as well, as another tip, just you can do all your buy now buttons and stuff by combining PayPal with JVZoo. Okay, JVZoo's brilliant, and they'll handle all your payments and everything for you. So all the resources I've talked about now, I'll link underneath, so that you don't have to learn, you know, go searching around about the stuff online, and you can just get started. Also, just a quick tip, if you're over in America, there's Weblaw Pro. If you need like legal documents, Auto Weblaw Pro, that's pretty cool. I use that. I also use Michael Young's system for so that I could quickly create all my documents for my web pages. They're pretty cool. So but there's a lot of money. Okay, so you might want to start with Auto Weblaw Pro just initially, because there's not too much of an investment, just to get your basic documents sorted. Now what's cool about Optimized Press is some of your legal documents are already included with Optimized Press, and you can just throw them in. Okay, but the cool thing about Auto Weblaw Pro is you also get like disclaimers for your books and all that kind of stuff. It's not something a lot of people talk about because it's not very sexy, but I just thought I'd warn you, so you didn't have to yet again spend hours and hours like I did scouring the internet trying to find out about this stuff. So I put it all below. It's up to you if you want to use any of that stuff. If you might think that, you know, I can't be bothered with this. Actually, it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But believe me, this is easy when you compare it to spending the rest of your life slugging away trying to get your way up the corporate ladder. If you're the kind of person that doesn't appeal to you. But if you're quite entrepreneurial and you want to be able to be your own boss, this is ideal. Okay. Anyways, your final call, but I've done it. I've done the work for you now. I've actually provided you with some incredible value. So it's up to you to take the next step. All right. So it's been my pleasure. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have sharing it. And open my emails, because you're going to see some incredible content coming your way. Here he comes with the open loop. I'm serious. You know, I've given you massive value here today, but this is not it. You know, I'll be talking about things like copywriting. I'll be talking about things like little tips you can have to sort of improve your traffic, all kind of stuff like that, and it'll all be built into the newsletter. You'll occasionally get recommended offers by other people that I think are brilliant, that I've checked out myself, because you already know now from my business model that I've actually laid out here right in front of you exactly what I'm doing, and you'll know it. Okay, so yeah, I hope you can see now how much of a caring and loving person I am, and that I'm out for your best interest. And I hope you enjoy being on my newsletter, and feel free please to just send me feedback, because I'm always open to learning new things about how I can serve you, to make sure you're getting the most out of my newsletter and also any content that I provide for you. So it's been my pleasure. Name's Matthew Cleary. Alright, so with matthewcleary.org, and you'll find I also run a blog called transcenderweight.com, where you can find out more sort of personal development and spiritual trainings. It's a website I built quite a while ago. You find a lot of stuff there as well. Also on that website actually is an interview I did with Chris Farrell, which is kind of cool. So anyways, we'll wrap up here, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best. Bye bye.